Has this ever happened to you? Or this? Will this make your memoirs? At Shelter Insurance, we can't iron out all the glitches in modern life. But we can manage your auto, home, and life insurance just fine. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Get the insurance coverage you need at the right price. Call Mark Manning today.
I don't know how it can get any better than the pregame show, but ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you have missed it again. Dr. Gavin McDowell at Custom Eye Care. And man, the pregame before we get on the air is always fantastic. You make an old man feel better when he comes in here. I'm going to laugh and I'm going to joke, and I go home and visit with my wife, and I said, guess what the doc didn't say on TV today? Didn't say on TV. What's happening, Doc?
Not much, not much.
Dr. Gavin McDowell.
Yes, sir.
Expert.
In the flesh.
Yes, one and only.
Yeah, it's amazing how often I'm just totally not recognized on the street.
Well, you know, we're saying a little bit more family time here is what you need. Yes. A little bit more TV time, but a man of expertise when it comes to eye care,
yes, sir.
Vision care. You the man.
I like to think that I am.
Hey, if this, hey, this time in the year,
a callback.
That is correct. This time in the year when it's November, we're coming up to December. This show will be showing all through the month of November. We talk often seriously
yes.
from time to time, often seriously.
We touch on serious
yes, we do.
topics.
But it is a very important time for those of us at the end of the year who talk about insurance and having met their deductibles. And if you've met your deductible, it's going to start again January 1st. So talk a little bit about that.
Honestly, if you've met your deductible for the year and you have not gotten your eye exam, and that's Medicare, that's Aetna, that's any major healthcare provider. If you've met your deductible, get your eyes checked. I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice by not taking care of that small part of the body.
Absolutely.
I get people come in all the time. Well, my vision kind of got blurry, but I didn't worry much about it. But I had this small little tickle, I went and got that checked out. We had like $8 million worth of test run on that one.
And it was a hair.
It's a hair.
It's hair.
Nothing.
But you're right.
But people take their vision for granted.
I think we all do, really. You don't think. You want to be able to see as long as you're seeing halfway decent. Yeah. Most of us go, I'm okay with that. I've got a little blur. I'm guilty. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
I had a little blur there that and you check and you say, golly gee, David, how long I had glasses a year or so ago? No, David, it's been 4 years ago since you got glasses. You need to upgrade. Yeah. And you do the test and you go, boy, son.
And I just don't understand how instantly improved vision can't be at the top of your to-do list.
It ought to be.
How can it not be a priority?
I just think we're so busy in life, and it's when your eyes don't hurt. When they don't hurt, you don't think you need any help.
That's because pain's a big motivating factor.
Pain! If you got a pain in your foot, you got to go see the foot doctor.
I'll tell you what. Next time your vision's a little blurred, just poke yourself in the eye.
Yeah, then you got a little pain.
That'll give you some motivation. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't do it.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. But meeting a deductible that you've already done, it just makes it a whole bunch easier on your pocketbook.
Absolutely.
Now's the time to get in here and get
Absolutely.
those things done.
And think of it this way: if you come in with the deductible met and we get your exam done, you're realistically, if nothing's wrong with you,
right,
you're out the door, and with peace of mind knowing that everything's working right. Now,
we talk often on this show, Doc. Everybody, whether you have glasses or not, whether you have good vision or not, we're talking about checking your eyes. We're talking about the eye health examination also. Not vision, but health.
And that's what, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a very important part. Because I get people all the time who have Blue Cross Blue Shield or who have Medicare and all this, and they don't have vision coverage.
Right.
Your eyes are part of your body. If you have health insurance, you can have your eyes examined for a health exam under your insurance.
Right, absolutely.
A lot of people think, I don't have vision insurance.
And there's a difference between vision and health.
There's
a big difference.
Total difference.
Big difference.
And just so happens, I do both.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Well, it's a one-stop shop here. Hey, you can get
sunglasses. I don't have gas outside. I'm just pumping up.
Listen, you get glasses, you get sunglasses, you get contacts, you get a comedy routine every time you're in here.
Close to it.
Close to it. You're a special guy,
I am.
Special. Yeah. And we often talk about when's a good time for sunglasses. And now is always a good time.
3 months ago, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, pretty much as long as the sun's rotating the earth, that's a good time to have sunglasses handy.
That's probably going to continue on, I think.
I would hope so.
Near, yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I've got a lot of shows on my DVR that I got to get caught up on.
Yes, sir. You do. We handle just name brand sunglasses. We don't handle anything that's cheap.
No,
we just don't handle cheap stuff.
No, and
we handle good stuff.
I'm going to throw this out at you right now. I have had patients talk to me before about the cost of the frames that we have and the cost of the lenses that we put in our stuff. And I've got two responses to that. For one, I don't sell junk.
Right.
I'm not trying to compete with the bargain basement guys.
Sure.
If you want that, that's your bag. Take off with it and go get that there. You're not going to get that from us. You're going to get quality stuff from us that we stand behind and the manufacturers stand behind. Because I don't want you walking out of here with a bad taste in your mouth about what you got. And when it comes to lenses being cut and made for your glasses, there's a lot of places you can go get your glasses made in an hour. Right. People ask me,
that's what you get.
Why don't I try to do my glasses in an hour? Well, here's one way to look at it. It takes 6 months to build a Rolls Royce. Right. It takes 13 hours to build a Toyota.
Right.
I'm in the Rolls Royce business.
Right, absolutely.
So I promise you I will take longer than an hour on your glasses, because if I don't, then you're not getting a quality set of lenses.
Well, not only a quality set of lenses, but quality service. I mean, while you're doing the examinations and then after you finalize on what you need, and then when they come, aftercare is always sensational. And I mean, it really is. And you need professional, and as Doc started the program with, besides the jokes and whatever, you talk about why not your eyes. I mean, honestly, if you stub your toe, you go to the doctor because you stub your toe. And
exactly. Unless you're a guy. We always think it's always going to get better.
Well, no, I stub my toe, I'm going. I love medical doctors. The 1 to 10, I might have talked about this on the program before, but I've never had a 6 pain. From 1 to 10, what is your pain? And you're sitting in a doctor's office. Obviously, it's a 10, or I wouldn't be. If I had a 3, if my pain level was a 3, I wouldn't be in there. I stand a 3. I can't stand a 10. That's why I'm there.
I've had a 9 or a 10 before.
Oh, I'm a 10. Good. Oh, I like 9 and 10. That's why I'm going. And if you get that, you're certainly going, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. You will find somebody. You will pay a guy in a back alley with a rusty spoon to take care of your eye if you got that much pain. You bet.
Listen, we're in the Village Mall in Newport. You folks up Batesville, if you're looking for an optometrist that will take care of you, that will quality, and more quality, customized vision care in the Newport Village Mall with Dr. Gavin McDowell, and your staff is second to none, not in just this field, but in any field. I like coming in here. I like
it's fun.
It is fun.
And I make a point to have people around me that way. Because I don't want anybody coming in here thinking, oh, gosh, I got to go to the doctor again. That's not us.
Doesn't happen here.
It ain't us.
Dr. Gavin McDowell, as always, a pleasure to get to see you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Now, is there any way after we cut off the show right here, we can continue on that conversation that we were having prior to us?
We can try. Actually, I got one thing to say, but anyway, go ahead.
Oh, after. I was waiting on it. I thought you were really going to bestow some information upon our...
No. We need to hold this
We'll continue on with more of the show. Don't go anywhere. We are at Lindley Healthcare in Newport, Arkansas, and it is always a blast to be here having fun with our residents. Tell us all about it, young lady.
Hi, we're at Lindley Health and Rehab Center today. We are having our first annual hoedown. The weather was kind of a little bit bad, so we had to move it inside. As you can see, we've got it fixed up as a barn scenery for an old-fashioned hoedown. We have lots of friends and family and guests here, so everybody get ready.
Now here's what I got to ask. Anytime I've ever put a number on me, I always wanted to be number 1. Why are you not number 1 and you're number 4?
Because I'm following everybody.
We are having a blast at Lindley, and it's just another great deal that you guys put on, and the residents love it.
The residents have been so excited. We've been planning this for several weeks. They've been counting the days down. They've been counting the hours down today, so they are excited.
Let the fun continue at Lindley.
And join your hands in circle up big, circle to the left and you don't be late. Swing your partner high and low. Now promenade with a heel and toe. All 4 ladies go into the middle and the back of the bar, and the gents go in with their right hand star. Now left hand back. Pass your partner, take the next right by your side. swing out and the ladies in. It's 1 and a half when you're gone again. Break that star and swing. Go promenade around the ring. Join hands and circle to the left, 8 hands you go. Other way back and you don't be slow. Now first check with your new partner. Go down the center, rip and snort. Couple number 2, go down the center. Couple 3, go right on through. And then couple 4, you know what to do. All 4 ladies into the middle and the back to the bar, and the Jets go in with the right hand star. Now left hand back. Pass that one, take the next. Now inside out and outside in, turn that Texas star again. Break it apart and swing. Now promenade. Join hands and circle to the left, 8 hands around. Other way back, you're going wrong. Cover number 1, go rip and snort. Cover number 2, you cut them off short. Now couple 3. Last one's couple 4, go through that door. Hurry up now. And all 4 ladies, it's into the middle and the back to the bar, and the Jets go in with the right hand star.
Let's have the boys start at a right in the middle, like a right hand start. Right hand start. Look for the corner, girl. Have another look for the corner, turn on the left. And around and grand, back to your partner, then right and left, and right and left, and then swing your partner, then round and round you go. Promenade and around and go.
interest rates still near historic lows, now's a great time to purchase a new home or refinance your existing loan. Call or go see Kenny Thaxton at ENG Lending for an evaluation of your existing mortgage or for a pre-qualification on a new home purchase loan. ENG Lending is a division of the Bank of England in England, Arkansas, which was chartered in 1898. They offer a full range of today's mortgage products, such as USDA Rural Development, FHA, VA, and conventional financing. They offer 100% financing to qualified borrowers. ENG Lending offers great rates and unmatched customer service. Stop by today and see Kenny Thaxton with ENG Lending located in the Village Mall in Newport, or call him today at 870-495-3931. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 418481.
Hi, everybody. On behalf of ENG, Kenny Thaxton, the crew out in the Newport Village Mall, I'm Bud Black, and let's talk sports. Everybody talks about the Cardinals, and of course, the middle of football season, but the tragic death of Oscar Taveras, and I know you've heard so much about it, and if you're a Cardinal fan and you read their website information, you know that of course, rightfully so, what everybody has talked about. But now you got to move on. Tragedies happen all the time. Just, at 22 years old, that's awfully young to be taken out of life, but the Lord moves in a mysterious way. And the Cardinals have to, as crass as it seems, start thinking about what they're going to do for a right fielder, how they're going to improve their ball club. They say they have tons of money that they can spend. Do they try and go and get Stanton from Miami, and that everyone wants them to get him, but the Miami team says he's not available, and apparently they mean it. Once you get a guy, you got to sign him to a long-term contract, at least 2, 3, 4 years, so that you can get your money's worth out of it. And Stanton is not going to hit as many home runs in St. Louis if he were on that ball club, nor is a Batista or any of the guys that they're talking about possibly trading for or signing as free agents to move into the right field spot. I don't think the kids, Grichuk, who played quite a bit this year, and Piscotty and some of the others are quite ready to fill the need the Cardinals have. The Cardinals are still in need of a bopper. They needed one last year. They win the game, the division by a game, and had they had a bopper, they would have walked away with that division. A guy that can hit 30 home runs. Not 20. Peralta got 20. Holiday got 20. And they've got two other guys that could get 20, a healthy Molina, an Adams who'd ever learned how to hit a left-hander, could get 20 quite easily. But they don't have anybody who can get 30 or 32 or 33 home runs. And also something else on the Cardinal home runs when they hit them, I didn't realize this, but about 3 out of 4, about 75% of the home runs that the Cardinals hit, and they were last in the league in homers or next to it, were solo shots. Nobody on base. I mean, the only thing more rare than a Democrat in St. Louis is a 3-run homer. They hit them just solo shots all the time with nobody on base. And, and then here comes somebody and bops a 3-run homer and wins the game 3-2 and beats the good pitching, and you're singles and base to base, as the Cardinals call it. How many times the Cardinals got 4 hits in 1 inning this past year to score 1 run? Unbelievably amazing that they couldn't get gap shots. They didn't have the power to do that, or the long ball. But anyway, it'll be interesting to watch and see as that develops. By the time you see this, maybe late November, early December, there will be a lot of possible things on the table. The winter meetings coming up. Maybe some moves will be made there. It'll be interesting to watch the Cardinal situation. They'll have one other great need. That's a relief pitcher, probably a left-handed pitcher. Everyone talks about the kid that was at Detroit that went in the big trade over to Baltimore, Andrew Miller, as being the guy that they want to get. We'll watch that carefully also, too. And the Razorbacks. As you watch this, the Razorbacks have just about completed the regular season. If you're watching in late November, early December, those kids have lost some heartbreaking ball games, and yes, they have improved. This program has improved. It has improved to the level to where they're still losing. And Arkansas fans are gritting their teeth a little bit, and you're sick and tired. At the time we taped, they had just lost to Mississippi State, of having lost 17 in a row in the SEC.
And people are tired of hearing about that. They want to win. They want to be Ole Miss and want to win all of them. And as we taped, they have a chance to beat a depleted Ole Miss team that is racked by injury and emotionally devastated after their terrible loss at the goal line to Auburn and previous week before that. So Ole Miss has been really, really hurt. LSU's tough again. You know, they can beat Missouri, I think. I think that's very possible. But Arkansas fans and the Arkansas program need some SEC victories. I don't know if one will do it, satisfy people. And of the last 4, they need to split 2-2. You know, another thing, if you don't win some ball games, if you don't get competitive in your own league, in your own division, how in the world are you going to recruit a great athlete? And you have to have great athletes. You got to sign 30 great ones to be on an even keel in the SEC with the LSUs and the Alabamas and the Auburns. You're in and you're out. So what do you say to those kids? The story goes that Brett Bielema was talking to a kid, and he said, "Don't you want to play in the SEC?" He said, "Yes, I do, Coach, but you don't understand. I want to win in the SEC." So that's what they're up against. It'll be interesting to watch also. Keep your fingers crossed. As you watch this, maybe the Hogs have won a couple of ball games in the SEC. If not, woo, trouble brewing on the hill. That's a quick look at some sports updates on behalf of ENG. I'm Bud Black. Everybody have a great holiday season. Thanks for watching.
What a pleasure it is each and every year to get to come down to what used to be, and Caroline and I have talked about it, MMM&G, and we're not MMM&G. Caroline beat you at, where are we?
M&P Insurance and Investment Services, still at 833 Malcolm.
And we did have a nice little conversation before we got on about how so many people, even after 10 years, associate this particular business with MMM&G because of the long-standing relationship that those guys had here in this building. But we've been here a long time, haven't we?
Yes,
So
yes.
Let's talk a little bit about some expertise and some of the things that you do. First of all, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much. I always enjoy it.
Tell us a little bit about you. Remind the folks about Caroline and what you do at M&P here, and how long you've been doing it, and how much you enjoy it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I am a life insurance agent.
Okay.
I have been in the insurance business since I got out of college, which has been a couple of years ago. And I offer life insurance and health products and long-term care and vision and dental, many products like that.
In the insurance business, and what is really, really important as we film, because we're getting, obviously each and every year, get to the end of the year, we have some deadlines that we have to meet when we talk about Medicare. And Caroline, talk about some of the deadlines that we have, and just exactly when we talk about Medicare beneficiaries, what exactly are we talking about here?
Okay, thank you. That's a good question. I do work a lot with Medicare beneficiaries. The enrollment period to make any changes on a prescription card or a Medicare Advantage plan is October the 15th through December the 7th.
Okay.
And though that enrollment period is set in stone. Medicare beneficiaries are people who have a red, white, and blue Medicare card.
Okay.
And that says that they are a Medicare beneficiary. Those are people who can be either over 65 or on Social Security disability.
When you're talking about people that are on, quote, Medicare, how does that work in the normal standard of the day? I mean, how do you get on Medicare if somebody is that of age, or what do you have to do? Who do you have to see? Who do you have to see to get on Medicare?
You need to call your Social Security office, or better than that is actually go down and sit with someone, ask all the questions, have a reference that you can contact if you have any questions about it, and find out all of the details very specific to you.
And in doing so, once people get those cards, and you talk about the enrollment period, what if you miss the enrollment period? What if you don't renew, or what happens then? I guess you don't get anything.
Well, it depends. If you're already participating, you already have a prescription card, you already have a Medicare Advantage plan, that December the 7th is your deadline set by the government.
Okay.
And there are not any exceptions to that December 7th deadline. If you are new to Medicare, there's another set of enrollment deadlines.
Okay.
And some of the deadlines can result in a penalty, and some of them result, just as you said, in no coverage.
Right, yeah, and that's the worst case scenario, no coverage. All right, well, tell us a little bit about how you guys here help. What exactly do y'all do when it comes to helping these folks get enrolled or whatever? What do we do specifically here?
Okay, what we do is we represent a lot of different companies.
Okay.
So we're not associated just with one company. We try to find the most appropriate company for each person.
Okay.
We are not allowed to advise or recommend a plan, but we can help do the research for them to find out which company may be most appropriate for them based on their very specific situation. And then we help enroll them into that plan.
Well, obviously, when you have more than one option, that is a great option for that person trying to sign up to, like you say, go through a series of possibilities of companies and say, here's what can be offered here, here's what here, blah, 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 blah. So that's what you have to do. That's where your expertise comes in not making the recommendation, but analyzing what may or may not help.
Yes, like prescription cards. There's
Right.
28 different prescription plans.
Okay.
In Jackson County.
Right. Wow.
28.
28.
How do you know which one is going to work best for you?
Well, you got to have some expertise.
That's right.
You got to have somebody helping you out.
Right. They don't all cover the same prescriptions. They have different premiums. They have different deductibles. They have different copays. There are 28 very different plans. So.
Tell us again about we're in the enrollment period now. The deadline is?
December the 7th.
Okay. And if anybody, sees the program and needs an answer to a question, how do they contact you here?
It's real easy. You can call our office
Okay.
at 870-523-6771. If you forget my name, just ask for the insurance lady.
Email address to contact you in case somebody's more in tune to email. How do we email you?
At C_Jones, Jones, the number 1 at Comcast.net.
That's easy enough, isn't it?
Yes.
Caroline, it is always a pleasure to get to come down and visit with you and find out about what's going on in your end of the insurance business world. And I've always had great respect for insurance people, and especially when you talk about handling a lot of companies and have a lot of, it's just amazing what you have to know, what you have to learn, so you can help us learn and make intelligent decisions when it comes to insurance. And I just want to thank you for your hard work.
Well, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to help people.
Caroline Beecham, we appreciate her joining us here on the Business Spotlight. Let's continue on with more of our program. Tommy Bain, Farmers Tire Mart, Malcolm Avenue in Newport. Always a great pleasure to get to come down and see a beehive of activity. But boy, on those days that it rains and a lot of the farmers have already finished up, not real busy today. So I guess if somebody were watching live, if they wanted to get their vehicle in today, they could certainly do it.
Sure.
We have been busy. The fall about to come to an end. Talk about the business.
Business has been good this fall, and we're still doing quite a bit, especially these grain hauling trucks. But as important as the fall harvest season is to us, to keeping the combines and the tractors and the big trucks rolling, they're important, but also those light duty vehicles.
Sure.
Our everyday drivers are as important because they need, before this old weather turns cold, they need to be serviced.
Right, absolutely.
And oil needs to be changed, the transmission fluid needs to be serviced, and radiators need to be serviced and get them ready for winter. And a thing it's often overlooked until you need them is wiper blades.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're overlooked, but when you turn on the wipers, like today it started raining, you turn on the wipers and they squeak, and they streak,
Yeah.
and there's flags
You
of
can't
rubber,
see.
flags of rubber coming off of them, and that's a reminder that.
That's an indication, isn't it?
Yeah. Need to run down there and see Bruce.
That is an indication that you might not be able to see as well as what you need to see, and we're always doing that. We don't ever remember it until days like today, when we got a little rain shower down. I need to think about that. So go ahead and get that done, folks. If we talk about general maintenance on a vehicle to prevent big things from happening. Tommy, if you service a vehicle, if you do what you're supposed to do prior to having a real need to, then you may not have a real need to do a major job on your vehicle.
Absolutely. A lot of times preventative maintenance is makes the difference between going on down the road and having to stop on the side of the road.
Absolutely.
And none of us wants to do that.
Well, we talk a lot about if you are traveling. A lot of folks travel during holiday season, Thanksgiving coming up, and people will be on the road. You need to get your car in here. You need to get it serviced. You need to let us come in here and check the air pressure on your tires, check those things you talked about, get it serviced, get it ready to go, where you won't be on the side of the road and have to pay. Because when you're on the road, they don't know you. They don't know you, and you'll have to pay the price if something goes wrong. So if you come in and get it serviced right now, you might not have to break down out there on the road.
That's absolutely true. And there's an old saying that goes along with that: if you want to dance, you got to pay the fiddler.
That's correct. That is correct.
If you broke down on the road and you want to go, you've got to pay somebody to get you going.
Tommy, we talk about Farmers Tire Mart, and I mean, just we look around here in the showroom floor and just all kinds of different rubber that's available, from small little ATV tires to large, like we don't have any, the tractor tires in here as such, but if you got an automobile and it uses tires, and I know you do, we can take care of you right here in the tire department.
Right here in the tire department. Yes, we can take care of you.
Talk about some of the brands we got. Just a few.
We have Firestone, and we have. Of course, I want folks to understand that most tires are imports these days.
Sure, absolutely.
Even the name brand tires.
Absolutely.
And we have Firestone, and we have some Bridgestone, and
right.
we have some Yokohamas.
Right.
We have Goodyear and Kenda, and there's a new mud tire that we've started handling. It's called a Black Bear.
Okay.
But it's an excellent, rugged-looking tire. And then we have Toyota, mud terrains and all terrains, but we have tires for the little cars.
Sure.
We have the tires for the bigger cars, and we have the tires for the SUVs and for the light trucks.
Right.
So we can. Most generally, we can take care of the tire needs that day. But there are times when inventory might be low on a certain size, and we have to. But we can generally get them overnight.
Yeah, it's very difficult for us to handle.
Yeah.
With so many different cars and sizes of tires. Very difficult for us to handle every single set of possibilities that may be out there on the road. But the good thing, like you talked about, you come in, if you need them tomorrow, generally we can get them in a day's time, and we get them mounted and balanced and serviced for you and ready to go.
Right. Yes, and it's our pleasure to do that, to be a service to this community, to do that, take care of that vehicle. And when we sell tires, we mount them and balance them at no extra charge. And then every 6,000 miles, we'll rotate those things for you, free of charge.
Absolutely, no charge.
So we try to provide a service where you get the maximum miles out of a set of tires.
And we want to remind everybody that we are on the World Wide Web now for information and a chance to possibly schedule your appointment. But the website is www.farmerstiremart.com. We got to have a .com in there.
Got to have it.
And then at Facebook.com/Farmers Tire Mart. So we're on the web, we're on Facebook, we're out there. We want people to be able to get in touch with us.
We want people to be able to schedule their appointments, and I mean, it's just another way of doing business on the web. You get the website, and it's just a great way to dispense information to, literally, absolutely thousands and thousands and millions of people out there. And if you need your car worked on, you need some general maintenance, I recommend you guys. You guys are simply the best. You're taking care of the Black family and have for many, many years, and we appreciate you.
We cherish that opportunity to serve, like your family, or Daddy Bud,
absolutely,
and Mama, and
absolutely.
We've taken care of their vehicles for years, and then along come those little sport commentators.
That's right.
And now we're coming along with used car dealers.
That's right. Got them everywhere, don't we? Got them everywhere, don't we, Tommy?
All those opportunities are precious to us.
Yeah, no doubt.
We take them seriously.
And before we get off here, just quickly, this Thanksgiving month, Thanksgiving at the end of the month, and I know you folks will be getting together like you normally do each and every year in the big family that you guys got, and y'all will be giving thanks, no doubt.
Absolutely. At every opportunity, we do that. And on Saturday, before Thanksgiving, every year, our family gets together.
Right.
And that again, we cherish that time.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Tommy Bain, it's always a pleasure to get to come down and visit with you. I know I consider you appreciate all the business that you've done with me down through the years, but more importantly, I appreciate your friendship. And we're at Farmers Tire Mart, where
the rubber meets the road.
That's Tommy Bain, Farmers Tire Mart in Newport.
Come see us.
Welcome you to Jackson's Funeral Home, the 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue in Newport. Karen Hunt joins us, and she and Jan alternate doing this program from time to time. And again, we're talking with Karen this morning. We're in a month of starting some of the holidays, and of course, I guess the first holiday as such is the trick-or-treat night, but a very important holiday this month of November when we start talking about Thanksgiving, Karen, and certainly the folks at Jackson's Funeral Home have a lot to be thankful for.
That we really do. We have, of course, our own family and friends, our business here, and the opportunity that we have to work with the people of Newport and Jackson County, the surrounding areas. It's kind of a gift to us to be able to help people through the hardest time sometimes of their lives.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I know that we get on here and talk a lot about being thankful for the things that we have and thankful for the people that take care of us, and it shouldn't be just one day out of the year. We should be thankful all days out of the year. And one of the things that personally thankful for is when you deal in having a funeral or planning a funeral, and we talk a lot about pre-arrangements, but my family, Linda and Mary and Jean, the Grady girls, just lost their father and getting buried in Walnut Ridge. And they, after they planned the funeral, came out and said, we're really shocked at all the little things that you have to know to be able to do a service. And that's when the professional folks like you, when you come in and sit down to do the funeral, you have that, but pre-arrangement makes it so much easier to do. We talk a lot about pre-arrangement, but again, we can't talk too much about it.
I don't think we can. It is so important. There are so many little decisions. There are things you never even think of that you may need. What songs did did Mama like? Did Dad like? And a lot of times people get in here and they say, we never talked about that. And it's hard to personalize a service when you don't have all the information. And there's a lot of information that's needed for vital records.
Sure.
Gathering pictures together for a DVD.
Right.
That can be a huge task.
Right.
And especially if you're really organized like me and they're all in a box under the bed.
Right.
So it just makes the entire process so much easier on your family. And it's not only releasing a financial burden if you prepay it, if you choose to just pre-plan.
Absolutely.
When your family comes in and sits down, you say, I know exactly what they wanted. This is what your mother, your father, this is what they told me. There's no guesswork.
And the people who, even family members, as you said, may not know exactly. There are
That's
so
right.
many questions that you have to answer and so many papers that you have to have. And if you're in the military discharge papers,
That's
we learned
right.
about that yesterday. And I mean, just tons of information that you have to have
Yes.
on our end. But you guys know that, and when you pre-plan, you already have it done. And
Right.
realistically, and talk about the cost of pre-planning and what it does for you as far as setting the price.
Well, when you pre-plan and prepay your funeral, you can do it a multitude of different ways. If you're young enough and in good health, you can qualify for an insured prearrangement.
Right.
And they're set on a 5-year, 10-year, or 20-year pay.
Okay.
So once it's paid for, it's done.
Right.
Your prices are locked in at today's price. Any service and merchandise charges will never go up. You can also do an annuity. And sometimes people think, well, I don't have all that money up front. It doesn't matter. You pay a small down payment, and then you make payments over 60 months.
Okay.
There's no interest on your payments. So what you're paying for is your balance.
That's correct.
That's it. Every dollar you pay comes off that total. Once it's paid for, you're done. Probably the best advertisements, so to speak, for prearrangement are those people who, when we get a call and we pull their file, they did their prearrangement in 1987.
Right. Okay.
Okay, well, the discount, the difference is more than they paid
Right.
for
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the greatest thing
Absolutely.
ever, you know, to see the look on a family's face when they see what
they paid, how much it was, what a funeral is today, and they go, wow.
Right, and
Yeah.
then, you know, it occurs to them, they realize what their loved one did for them.
Absolutely.
Because not only did they plan everything, make these decisions for them, these hard decisions, but they've released a financial burden as well.
Take advantage of pre-arrangements by talking to the folks here at Jackson Funeral Home. They'll come to you if you need them to. And before we get out of here, we want to talk a little bit about the program that we have each and every December. We're going to make a few changes this year. Don't have a date set, but we certainly wanted to mention it here.
We are going to make some changes. We are in the process right now of figuring out exactly how and when we're going to do things. But there will be an announcement on our website.
Okay.
There will be an announcement, of course, on our time and temperature machine,
Sure.
and advertisements in the paper and Cable 15. So hopefully we'll get everything tied up with that this week.
Yeah, look for it for early to mid-December,
Yes.
and it again is something about giving back, and that's what you guys do at Jackson Funeral Home. You continue to give back.
We try. We try to give back and help people get through the holiday season. Sometimes the holiday season is really hard when you've lost someone.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And so, you know, holidays are never the same.
No, they're not. When
They're
you-
never the
when-
same.
When somebody is gone, it does make a change for those holidays. I appreciate you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
time to visit with us. Again, it's always good information to come to Jackson Funeral Home, especially on the part of pre-arrangement. And don't forget the announcements on the program that's coming in December. We'll have that information to you. She's Karen Hunt. We're at the Jackson's Funeral Home. We're at Harris Hospital. Each and every month we come down, we get to visit with some of the friendly folks there. And Rebecca Payroll we haven't seen quite as often as we'd like to see. But Rebecca, we are here today to talk about some really, really nice awards that have been bestowed upon the hospital and other people within the hospital. And first of all, let's talk about these nice awards that we've received.
Well, we are so proud at Harris Hospital that last month in October, we went to the Arkansas Hospital Association annual meeting and trade show, and we just cleaned up while we were there. Harris Hospital brought home a lot of brass.
So
you
I have
know,
seen, yes.
The first one I want to talk about is the most important one. So Mr. Robert Rupp is our CEO at Harris Hospital, and you know he is a very humble man, and so he doesn't like to brag on himself, and so I consider it my job to do it for him. He was named the Administrator of the Year by the AHAA.
Wow.
And what I find kind of amazing about that is we're in the category of over 100 beds. So even though Harris Hospital is small,
Sure.
we fall in the category of over 100 beds. So he was competing against all the CEOs of the great big hospital
Wow,
systems across
wonderful.
the state. And so extremely proud of him, and this is just recognition of the kind of leader that he is, that is really bringing Harris Hospital to be in a wonderful facility.
Well, I know in our visit with him, and I got to interview Rob, it's been a year ago now, and visiting with him and talking about his passion for health care and what's right and for people. And there's no doubt he is a well-deserved honoree of the Administrator of the Year, and just a great guy. He's a great guy to be around. No doubt. I really enjoy visiting with that man.
He is, and he is the type of leader that if he has a military background,
right,
and he talks about leading from behind, and that's what he does. He is what I've learned about in business school. He's a transformational leader.
Absolutely.
I would call him.
Absolutely.
He wants to bring people up with him. He empowers you to be the best that you can. So.
Now, you said this is the most important award. This is an important award, as is the next award that we're going to talk about, because I'm excited about this one for you, Rebecca. Tell us about the diamond.
Well, diamonds are a girl's best friend,
yes.
So I've got my own big diamond, biggest diamond I've ever had here.
Yes, it is.
So there's a whole separate marketing section for that, and you submit, and I submitted our ER 30-minute pledge campaign. That was total ad campaign.
Right.
And so I got a diamond award for that, and that was out of 142 entries.
Wow.
But who's counting? So.
Who's counting? Who is nobody but us? But again, when you're strong in administration, when you're strong in ER, you're strong in marketing, you're strong in nursing. I mean, we continue to show off how good we are at Harris Hospital. So wonderful to have a hometown hospital, there's no doubt about it.
You have to have all the foundations of teamwork working and functioning together for it all to culminate into excellence, and that's what we feel like all of these awards are a recognition of our commitment to excellence. We have one more award.
Oh, we do? Well, let's hear about it.
And I tried to find the certificate before I ran over here, and I couldn't find it.
That's okay.
Our auxiliary, our pink ladies,
yes,
that run the gift shop and they volunteer at the hospital, they got the 5-star award. And the auxiliary, they also have at the AHA meeting their own track for statewide auxiliary.
Okay.
And that's recognition of that. They have to complete a lot of paperwork in their hours of service and different projects and fundraising,
right,
lots of different components of that. And so we just had a well-rounded meeting. No
doubt. I think that, if it be the Academy Awards, there's no doubt that you guys would be on the front page of the New York Times. And
you like me. Yes, you really like me.
Yes. Well, realistically, those are great honors. Those are great honors, especially when you get an honor by those folks who are kind of your peers, and you're competing against lots of peers out there, and to win an award like that, it's pretty outstanding. Congratulations to all of y'all.
Well, thank you.
What else is going on? What else do we need to talk about? Is that it?
I think that's all the bragging that we have time for today.
We have more coming right up. And Rebecca, congratulations. Congratulations to the Pink Ladies. Congratulations to you, and certainly to Robert Rupp. Rob, Outstanding Administrator of the Year. Let's continue on with more of the show. Continuing on with our Harris Hospital Spotlight, and we spotlight doctors each and every month at Harris Hospital, and of course we're at what we call Harris Hospital East, or the old Harris Hospital, or the old Newport Hospital, and visiting with a new doctor in town, Dr. Kishore Gadam, and we welcome him to the community. Welcome to Newport, Arkansas, sir.
Thank you.
Doc, let's talk a little bit about your background, talk a little bit about your history and where you grew up, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Dr. Kishore Gadam. I'm the pediatrician here at Newport Pediatric Clinic. A few words about me. I'm calm and easygoing person.
Right.
And, I love interacting with children all the time, and I also have great passion towards medicine. And the thing that made me to go into pediatrics is when I was in the medical school, and when I was working with children, that thing has always fascinated me to the point of enthusiasm.
Sure.
That kind of enthusiasm I wanted to have every day of my life. And
wow.
When I get up in the morning, I can't wait to get to work.
Oh, that's fantastic. If you enjoy what you're doing, it just makes your job so much easier, does it not?
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about where you grew up and being born and raised and so on and so forth, and where you got some of your medical training.
So I was born and brought up in India, and I went to medical school, prestigious medical school in India, which is in the top 10 universities. And after finishing my medical school, it was clear for me that I want to go to the pediatrics. and then I applied for residency and did my training in pediatrics in New Jersey in the St. Joseph Hospital, Patterson.
Right, absolutely. It's a good deal. We know that you're new. You're looking for a clientele. We ask folks, say, certainly give us a chance. You call us here at Harris Hospital. We'll give you the numbers to get to Dr. Gadam. But let's talk a little bit about something that you are doing that is really, it's unique in care because it's the only option for after hours. You're running an after hours clinic 5 days a week from 5 to 7. Tell us a little bit about that clinic and what you're hoping to do in that clinic.
Absolutely. My goal as a pediatrician is to provide better and most importantly easier access to healthcare for all the children here at Newport. Considering the busy schedule of the parents,
right.
I realized that this is something that I can come up with, and I'm available in the after hours from 5 to 7 for all the convenience of the parents for walk-ins. Just in case if they get sick, because I believe there is no other service here as an outpatient that they can see from 5 to 7.
Yeah, there's no doubt there is no other option, and you provide that option right here at the Harris Hospital East, at the medical center. And Dr. Gadam, we want to welcome you to Newport, Arkansas. I know it's going to be a good run for you. Now, you recently married in the last year or so. Tell us about being married.
Yes, I've been. It's been like in a year that I got married, and it's so beautiful life. I have my wife. She's also a doctor, and she's applying for residency. And she's, I'm excited to start my practice here and sharing my life here with her.
Absolutely. Well, we're excited to share us with you and you with us. Congratulations on coming to Newport, Arkansas. We hope very, very much that you have a great success and a great run. And of course, we want to remind everybody that to get a hold of Dr. Gadam, the phone number is 870-523-1008, 523-1008. We're located at 2000 McLean Street, again in the Harris Hospital East Medical Center, as we call it, the old Harris Hospital building. And welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Nice meeting you.
We're at St. Michael's Place, and it's always a pleasure to come to St. Michael's Place on Pecan Street and visit with some of the staff and talk about what's going on out here, because it's always pretty exciting to come. We'll let this pretty young lady introduce herself and tell us exactly what she does out here.
I'm Vanessa Falwell, and I'm the Assistant Director of Nursing at St. Michael's Place. I started several months ago.
Tell me about what your job duties are, what you're in charge of, what's a normal day like for you, girl? What do you do during the course of a day?
Normal course of a day is taking care of residents,
right.
Whatever that may entail. So we just do our best to take care of the resident. I'm under my Director of Nurses, and so I do what she tells me to do. Our main concern here, though, is the residents. So I'm taking care of them, checking on staff that's taking care of them, just making sure things run smoothly, that kind of thing.
And give me an example of some of the things that you might do. What would you do in the course of a day to make sure that things run smoothly?
Make their life easier.
Is that right?
That's right.
And how do you do that? How do you make residents' life easier?
The little things. It's the little things that count, in my opinion. So whether it just be taking someone for a walk, making sure that they're happy, make sure that they're having a good day, taking them outside, making sure they're active in activities here, just keeping them alive and going. And
Vanessa, I know that your roots are in Newport, Arkansas,
right.
and in town community dear to your heart, and certainly when you join this staff and this team, it's a pretty exciting experience for you, I'm sure. Talk a little bit about the experience of working out here.
Well, when I became a nurse, anyone that gets in healthcare, any individual that's working in healthcare, there's a lot of reasons that may lead you there, but deep down I think there's a compassion to want to, lighten the load for others, to make them better health, better life, So when I came here, it was just a blessing to get this job because it's local people.
Right.
Not only just helping people, but helping my hometown folks.
Absolutely.
So that's a good thing. I really like it. I like being here, and I think that the whole team here does their best to take care of these residents, and that's what's important.
Well, and you've got to enjoy your job, and I can just tell with the enthusiasm in your voice and just talking with you that you're an exciting person anyway. I've known you a long, long time, and what you bring to this staff is obviously something special for all to enjoy, and I know you work hard at it.
I do. We've got some great folks out here, and we've got a lot of exciting things going on this fall season. we just helped with Relay for Life.
Right.
Great cause.
Absolutely.
And so we actually, St. Michael's Place, we had a room in the haunted house to scare people. And so we made a lot of money, did that. Our residents have a fall festival coming up on Friday. So all of y'all come out if y'all see this before then.
They probably won't, but that's okay. They have tell us
come
what
next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Come out for next year. It won't be on the air till next week. But anyway, and just tell me quickly what happens at the Fall Fest. What do y'all do at the Fall Fest?
The Fall Festival is just a good chance for our residents to, this is their home.
Sure.
And when we're home, we pass out candy, right, to kids so they can still do that and they can, still feel at home here. So the kids from the community will come out and we'll pass out candy. We'll have different vendors in town, businesses that have games set up for the kids.
Okay.
The residents can take part. Jacksonport State Park's going to come out and have the animals alive and the taxidermy animals for the residents and kids to see. We'll have a bounce house, just a bunch of fun stuff, good fall festival.
It'll be fun.
Right.
It'll be fun. Well, I appreciate you taking time to visit with us. The interview's not over because we have part 2 coming right up. But Vanessa, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Second part of our interview at St. Michael's Place, and a young lady that we visited with for several minutes before we got on the air, and I promise you this is going to be a pleasure. Young lady, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, I'm Cindy Rush. I'm the Director of Nursing at St. Michael's Place, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, and how you got to where you are.
Okay, I traveled a little bit. I grew up in New Jersey, so I'm sorry for that, everybody. Traveled to Florida and Idaho and moved to Arkansas, and I love it here.
How long have you been in Arkansas?
Oh, for about 14 years now.
Good deal. Good
really
deal.
love it.
Tell me about nursing. Being a director of nursing, that means you've done some studying. Tell us about your studies, number one, in nursing. Was that in Jersey? Was that here? Where
no, I have a Bachelor's of Education degree from the state of New York, but I got all of my nursing classes here in Arkansas through RNEC.
Good deal. Good deal. And tell us a little bit about day-to-day things that you're in charge of and what you have to do. Obviously, it's an enormous responsibility to be the director of anything and the director of nursing. Obviously, you have some enormous responsibilities. Tell us about those.
Well, they're the day-to-day responsibilities of care for not only residents who come first, but their staff and several layers of that. And we take care of that. And I have wonderful people that work with me and for me. And I really enjoy every one of them. They're very, very good folks.
Tell me about working at St. Michael's Place and how your experience has been here and what maybe you hope to do in the future here for the folks.
I've worked here since June, and I am enjoying learning all the people in the neighborhood. Getting along with and meeting doctors and hospital staff. Just a great bunch of folks here that take care of their residents very, very well.
Why nursing? Tell me why nursing. Why did you pick nursing?
I'm a people person down in there, and I just love the science of nursing. It's very fascinating to me.
And I know that you will continue to do a marvelous job out here. I've heard some high praises of you since I've been here today in the 15 minutes that I've been here. So you must be making some good pluses and doing a marvelous job. And I know that the job's important to you and you do a great job at it. That's what everybody tells me.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cindy, thank you. And we appreciate the folks at St. Michael's Place for taking time to visit with us here on Cable Channel 15 TV and on the web at www.cable15tv.com. White River Area Agency on Aging, Batesville, Newport, and lots of locations throughout northeast and north central Arkansas. A new face, Judd Eccles, my friend. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you guys.
Tell us a little bit about Judd Eccles.
Well, I'm originally from Monticello, Arkansas, down south Arkansas. So I graduated from Monticello High School in 2000.
Okay.
I started to get interested in health and wellness a few years back. I lost a ton of weight and really became my passion. So I went back to college and got my degree in health science and then landed this job here. So really, really happy with how everything turned out. So.
Tell us about what's your title here, and then tell us about some of the things that you do, some of the programs that you're involved in, and we'll talk about how important that is to White River.
Well, my title is Health and Wellness Coordinator.
Okay.
Some of the things that we've been starting in our region are classes to teach senior citizens on how to manage the symptoms of chronic disease. We run fitness programs for seniors in the senior centers. We also implement programs that help with fall prevention. Fall prevention is a big issue in the senior community.
Sure.
It's the number one injury-related, part of being older. Is you're going to experience those falls. So we are helping to try to reduce that, and so just education, fitness, and really just trying to help seniors live a better life, as they get older. So.
Judd, there's no doubt in when we talk about health and nutrition and how you eat, and I think we all, whether it's senior citizens or young adults or children or whatever, I think we all miss the boat a lot on how important it is to eat healthy and to exercise. And no doubt you talked about lost a bunch of weight. Tell us about your general experience and how you did that, and what you did, and what made you want to do that.
Well, when I was in my mid-20s, I really became just living in a really unhealthy life. I got stuck in one of those ruts where I was eating out a lot, and just I was living a sedentary life. I wasn't very active, gained a ton of weight. So I realized that it was really starting to affect my health. It could become detrimental as I got older. So I just started dieting. I started eating less. The more I read about health and nutrition, the more I learned. And the weight started coming off. I started exercising. Started out on a bike and that I bought from Walmart, and then eventually moved on to other things like running and
Sure.
competing in different things. So. I ended up losing 110 pounds.
Wow.
And maintained that now for 5 or 6 years. So.
Wow, fantastic.
So, yeah.
You take that knowledge, not only can you talk the talk, you can walk the walk,
Yeah,
obviously.
well, I think I have a good story, I guess.
I assure you do.
Yeah, so.
And transferring that information and over to the elderly, to the young, to everybody, and especially at White River right here. Let's talk a little bit about, you have a territory? You do in Batesville, or do you talk about district wise?
Yeah, so I work in all of the counties that we serve in our 10-county area. I'll be in all parts of it. And a lot of it is in the senior centers. And then we'll also do programs outside of the senior centers, just in a general community. Education, health and fitness and things of that sort. So.
Well, there's no doubt when 100 and something pounds, that is amazing. I can't imagine you being 100 and something pounds bigger than what you are.
I've got the pictures to prove it.
Is that right? Well, tell us about your experience of working here at White River.
I love it. Everybody's been so great and supportive. The people here are just so nice. It's by far the best experience I've had with a new organization, working. So, yeah, it's just been great. Everybody's been real supportive and helpful. So it's been great so far.
Good to see you, my friend. It's always a pleasure to come
guys.
to White River Area Agency on Aging and talk to the folks that make this whole organization work. And it's guys like this one that certainly makes our health and our nutrition the way to go, a way of life. And he's a living experience, and he can tell you all about it. John Chadwell, Newport Economic Development Commission, downtown Newport, Arkansas, and the guru of sports football for the Newport Greyhounds, the voice of the Greyhounds on KMBY KOKR Radio.
You're the voice of the television Greyhounds.
I guess that's what we are. We are what we are, aren't we?
We better keep our day job.
That is right. We had. Hey, listen, we got a lot going on in Newport, Arkansas. I mean, there's just tons of activity. We have activity behind us right now. John, tell us who these people are. Tell us what we're doing. We've talked about it before, but now we get to see some faces.
We've worked with the Clinton School for a number of years and had different teams come to work, and we've got a team that's working with us now that is a wonderful team of students who are going to work on a kind of a unique project that they hope and their faculty advisor, Dean Skip Rutherford, hopes to make kind of a template for the state of Arkansas for small communities.
Okay.
One of the issues that small communities face a lot is that our young people go off to college and they get a professional degree and then they go somewhere else to work.
Right.
And there are a multitude of reasons for that. Sometimes they just want to be somewhere different. I remember being in high school and I just wanted to be somewhere different. I didn't want to be in Oxford, Mississippi anymore.
Right.
And but sometimes they don't think there's opportunity for them back home because they're not connected anymore with the jobs back home, and so they think, well, I got to go where I can make a living. And they don't realize that there are probably jobs that fit their career field where they can make a living back home.
Right.
And sometimes they're at a stage in life when they're younger where it's not as exciting, but as they mature and get older, they start having a family of their own, they say, hey, I wouldn't mind my kids being a Greyhound,
Absolutely.
like I was. So there's all kinds of factors. So the idea is, how do we connect with those people who are from Jackson County, who have gone somewhere else, they've gotten an education, they've gotten job experience, and now we would like to bring them back home. Or if they don't want to come back home, how can we engage them in helping us build the community?
Right.
Maybe they can help with money.
Sure.
Maybe they have expertise, that they can do. Maybe there's somebody out there who's from Newport who's an architect. And we have a project that we have in the future, and this architect's not interested in moving back to Newport, but he says, you know what?
Like to help.
And instead of them going out and hiring an architect for $30,000, why don't I just donate my services?
Absolutely.
There's
To
all
help, yeah.
there's all kinds of possibilities. So the key is, how do you connect with those folks? How do you interact with them to let them know job openings, fundraising possibilities, opportunities to help, and the good things going on in town? Because they don't hear of the good things, and sometimes they may call back and talk, saying, oh, there's nothing going on, and they don't know that we've had Tractor Supply open, and we've had Dollar Tree open, and and so what the group is working on is creating a database of all of the alumni from the Jackson County School District, from the Newport School District, and from ASU Newport. Anybody who's graduated from a school in Jackson County, probably for the last 60 or so years.
Wow.
And create that database, get email contact, mail contact, phone number, but these people have to opt in. We'll contact them and say, do you want to be, what do you want to receive?
Sure.
Do you want to receive job notifications? Do you want to receive a yearly annual report? What do you want to receive? And fill that database out so that when these things come up, we can contact people who've been here. Now, there's a lot that goes into that at first glance. In fact, when we kind of wrote the idea for the project and submitted it to the Clinton School, I just thought, oh, well, this would be a fun project. And then we start going through with the team here, all the things, privacy policy.
Sure.
What's your privacy policy? How are you going to protect the information? What are you going to use it for? What if somebody says they don't want to be part of it? And how do you, opt them out? And how often do you send stuff? So there's a lot to work in there and a lot of things to deal with, and that's what this team's working on. They're going to help us with a usage manual, talk about best practices of how we ought to use it, come up with the privacy policy we ought to have, and just really come up with how to run the program, and then what kind of database we can use. And then we've got a local committee that's got folks from the school districts and from the college that can get us a list of all the graduates.
Right.
We'll put that in a database, and then we'll start contacting people, and we think it'll really pay off. But what we'd like to do is, by the time they're done, wrap all this up in a bow.
Right.
And then some other community says, hey, we're interested in it. We can just say, here's how you do it.
Here's how you do it. Well, there's no doubt a lot of work goes into it, a lot of planning, a lot of research, a lot of emailing, a lot of mailing, like you say, maybe telephone calls. But amazingly enough, a lot easier to do it today than it would have been 20 or 30 years ago.
Right, and that's another thing that we need to do is harness technology.
Absolutely.
There's just all these opportunities and to get people engaged. I bet that a lot of the people from Newport and Jackson County don't realize that we got a Facebook page,
right,
that the website is interactive as it is, and things like that. So just allowing them to know some of that and be able to interact with their hometown is, I think, going to be a very big thing for us.
Got a phone call from a former Greyhound just this past week thanking me for putting the football games on our web page, because he said it's the only way that I can connect to my team that I love. He said he listens on Friday night on the webcast, and then he watches when we put it on the website. He said, because of the internet, I can stay connected. He said, I'd love to be there, but he said, I just can't be there. But he said, I really thank you guys for what you do. But I know this, these guys and girls do a marvelous job of coming into a community and making themselves part of the community and doing what they think is best for our community, no doubt.
Well, the teams that every team we've had has done a great job for us, and these men and women are going to go out and make a difference, not just in towns like Newport. They're going to make a difference in the world. And that's what the Clinton School of Public Service is all about, is teaching people to serve communities, countries, and I'm very impressed with the work they've done over the years, not just here in Newport, but if you could see what they do collectively, and then what some of the folks go out and do after they graduate from the program. It's amazing.
Quickly, before we get off here, tell us about time frame on what we're talking about. How long will these folks be here, and what's the kind of the conclusion date of the beginning of the project?
It runs concurrent with their school semester, so they'll wrap everything up sometime in April.
Okay.
And we'll have a public presentation at some point, so people will be invited to come in and look at what's been done and listen to what they've found out and the kind of the manual and the best practices of how we go forward from here. And it's going to take a lot of help from folks, because we're going to be calling, I'm sure, grandmas and aunts and uncles and say, hey, do you know where so-and-so is? And, you know, how can we get a hold of them? And so,
well, having planned a 40-year class reunion when there was just 150 people, and knowing what we went through as a group, and you go, wow, you're talking about thousands upon thousands of people. Good luck, my friend. Good luck.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. He's John Chadwell, Newport Economic Development Commission, and let me tell you what, folks, if you don't think things are exciting around Newport, Arkansas, just come down and visit with John for about 10 minutes, and I guarantee you he can give you enough information that you'll go, I had no idea. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
Tommy Allen, Dillinger Funeral Home, Highway 367, 167, 67, or something 67, as we always say, in Newport, Arkansas. And welcome again to the Business Spotlight, sir.
Good to be here.
Tommy, when you talk about Dillinger Funeral Home, or people talk about Dillinger Funeral Home, I really think that a standard of excellence was set many, many years ago with Mr. Oddie Dillinger, and there's no doubt that you guys continue to provide that same kind of service, which is considered excellent.
We try to every day. We try to exceed expectations that's expected of us, and we do that on a pretty regular basis.
No doubt. One of the great compliments that you can get is when families tell you it was an exceptional service. You guys went beyond the call of duty. Those are some of the things that make a director of a funeral home feel pretty good.
Yes. When we have people come from out of town that normally go to funerals in other areas, they're very impressed with the funerals in Newport, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And not just Dillinger.
Absolutely.
We're blessed with two good funeral homes that do good services.
Yes, sir.
But when they had a lot of ministers tell us that we could go to some of the surrounding counties and give them some pointers on how to work a funeral. And
I bet.
So, we just do our best every day and try to listen to what the families are telling us and take that information and create a life celebration ceremony that reflects the life of the person that we're paying tribute to.
Well, I think you really hit the nail right on the head when you talk about the quality of services, because when we go to a service that's not in Newport, Arkansas, I mean, realistically, it really makes you appreciate how professional, how caring, how important you guys make us feel when you have a funeral right here. I mean, it's amazing, because when you do go out, it's kind of like, they don't do that at Dillinger's.
Yeah.
You know, they don't do that in Newport, Arkansas like that. And you talk about both funeral homes doing excellent jobs, and no doubt about it. And I mean, that's because you've got quality people, and you guys care. I know you care.
Absolutely care. We absolutely care. It's every day we're on stage.
Right. Sure.
And every day we have to put our best foot forward and put the families that we serve first and take care of them. And every service is different because every family is different.
Sure.
The things they've done in their life, the accomplishments, and so every service is just a little different because we're tailored that service to reflect the life of the person that we're paying tribute to that day. And that's our goal every day.
Yeah, it's a goal that you attain most often, most of the time, and it's just like any business. I mean, the funeral business is a funeral business, but boy, it's such a different business because of the care factor, the love factor, the feelings of the people that you're servicing, and their how they feel. I mean, it's a very unique business, good business, but it's a tough business.
It is tough. You don't have do-overs.
Right.
You have to get it right the first time.
Absolutely.
And so the planning and the details and just taking care of it like it should be taken care of is the key.
Absolutely, it is. I know it's we're here in November, and it's Thanksgiving come up. We give thanks here at Dillinger Funeral Home for all the people that we have served throughout the course of not only this year but every year. And we always have a special program that comes up in December. Let's talk about that.
Our Tree of Remembrance service is going to be November the 7th. We have
December the 7th, right? Or November?
December the 7th.
December the 7th, okay.
December the 7th, first Sunday in December at 2 o'clock. Brother Brandon Gates is going to be bringing the message of comfort and hope. We have Brother Derek Persons going to be bringing some music and special singing. We want everyone to come out and be a part of this service. Our staff prepares finger food and refreshments, and if you've had a death in the family that's out of our county, and you want to be a part of our Tree of Remembrance service, give us a call at 523-3633 and let us know so we can have an ornament ready for your loved one. We would love for everyone that would like to participate to come out on December the 7th at 2 o'clock and be a part of our Tree of Remembrance service.
Hey, Tommy, you mentioned something there that kind of hit with me about it is a remembrance, no doubt about it, but it's also a celebration, just like a funeral. I mean, it's a culmination of what we're doing, and it is a celebration.
It is a celebration. Here's what we know. Of course, we do this every day, but when it comes to our family, we're just like the people sitting across the table from us. Yeah. There's no difference. But what we know is that the holidays after a death is very difficult.
Yes, it is.
My mother passed away in September of 2008. And at the end of September, and Thanksgiving was coming right up, and we'd always had Thanksgiving at Mom's, and we wanted to continue to do that. Thanksgiving was extremely difficult that year.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, no one's exempt to the grief that death caused. And I think about what the Bible says as far as Ecclesiastes says, it's better you're better off on the day of death than you are the day of birth. Right. But the funeral is for the living, it's not for the deceased.
That's correct.
And it's for the people that's left behind, the loved ones and friends, and that person is what we have identified with for years, and we miss them.
Absolutely.
And all of us want to do the best we can for the Lord and be a Christian and to be able to go to heaven when we die.
That's a goal, isn't it?
That's a goal, but none of us is ready to go today.
That's right.
And but we just try to give back to the families and let you know that we care for you, and that's why we're here. It's not just a business. We care, and we show that with every service that we do.
There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Well, again, tell us the time and the date on the Tree of Remembrance.
The Tree of Remembrance is going to be December the 7th. That's on a Sunday at 2 o'clock, and want everyone to come.
Right here at the funeral home.
Here at the funeral home, in our chapel, yes.
Tommy Allen, that's good stuff, my friend.
That's
good stuff. Good to see you, brother.
It's good to see you.
Let's continue on with more of the Business Spotlight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the November edition of the Jackson County Farm Report. I'm Randy Klepeczka, retired County Extension Agent with the Jackson County Extension Service. As I said last month, we're going to continue with the Farm Report, although I'm not with the County Extension Office anymore, but still a lot of good things in agriculture to talk about around Jackson County. We're taping at the end of October, and we've really made some good harvest progress since our last program. We've had a lot of good weather, a lot of good sunny weather during October, and farmers have made tremendous progress. Have most of the corn crop out, most of the rice crop out, pretty much all the corn crop and most of the rice crop out. Still quite a few late soybeans out there that really aren't even ready yet at the end of October, but hopefully we can get some good weather and get all of those soybeans out in November and have this crop finished up. With those late soybeans, there's going to be the question on whether some of these guys are going to double crop wheat behind those soybeans. Our optimum time for planting wheat is in October. Once you get to November, you start getting some, the yield potential goes down a little bit. So we're going to see, how much of those double crop soybeans will be planted behind these late soybeans. The price of wheat is not that great right now, around $5 a bushel. So, economics is not that great for wheat. So we'll see how much is going to be planted. But if you're going to plant late wheat, there's several things you need to keep in mind, and that's what I want to touch on this month. Number one, variety selection. You need to plant, when you're planting late, you need to plant an early maturing wheat variety. It's exactly the opposite when you plant early. When you plant early, you want to plant a late maturing variety. But again, on these late plantings, when we get into November, we want to be sure we plant an early maturing variety. And you can find that information out through the weed update put out by the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture. After variety selection, a couple other things you need to think about are fertilizer and seeding rate. With our late plantings of wheat, we really need some nitrogen fertilizer to help stimulate that late crop, get it to tiller out and get developed, you know, since it is later anyway. We need some help getting it to develop before the winter season gets here. So, you know, probably about 30 to 40 units of nitrogen needs to be applied to that late planted wheat. Another thing is seeding rate. Since we are planting late, again, our wheat's not going to have that much time to tiller out, so we need it to be a little bit thicker, so we're going to up our seeding rate, usually about 10 to 20% for these late plantings of wheat. So, you know, if you do those things, plant the right variety, put that nitrogen fertilizer out there, and increase that seeding rate a little bit, you're going to help yourself, you know, overcome some of that potentially lost yield potential. So do all those things if you're going to plant wheat late. Another thing we need to consider, and not only with late wheat, but with wheat in general, is the application of pre-emergence herbicides. You know, it's becoming really common with all of our crops. We really need to get some pre-emergence herbicides out there for weed control. A lot of our post-emergence herbicides don't work as well as they used to. We've got a lot of herbicide resistance out there, so we need to use these pre-emergence herbicides, and that hopefully will help some of those weeds from coming up and you know, avoid some of those post-emergence problems that we see with all of our crops. So really we have about 3 options, especially for ryegrass control, which is our main concern with wheat. Those herbicides that we can use that really don't have a lot of resistance issues yet include Prowl, Axiom, and Zidua. Zidua is a new herbicide that will just become labeled for this crop season. But there are certain things you need to keep in mind with all these herbicides. With Prowl, you need to have 1 leaf wheat before you make the application of Prowl. With Axiom, the wheat needs to be spiking, in other words, just emerging from the soil. So we need to have that going on, that development in our wheat before we apply the Axiom. And with Zidua, you need to use that no earlier than delayed pre-emergence. With delayed pre-emergence, we mean that's, of course, after the crop's been planted, after it's imbibed its moisture for germination, and preferably has a sprout about a ½ inch longer. At that point, you're safe to use a Zidua herbicide out there. If you try to push these herbicides too early, you may get some injury that you don't like. So that's why we're talking about these timings with the herbicides. You know, with all these herbicides, as with any pesticide, you need to follow all labeled directions on them. Because of these pre-emergence herbicides and the potential for injury, we really want to avoid broadcast wheat, because a lot of times with broadcast wheat, some of your wheat is really close to the soil surface and a lot more prone to injury. So we want drill seeded wheat, preferably at least a ½ inch deep. And if you do that and follow these timings, you should get by with these safely with these pre-emergence herbicides. So keep that in mind. And do remember that it's a good idea to use these, especially if you have ryegrass problems in your wheat. So until next month, this has been Randy Klepechka with your November edition of the Jackson County Farm Report.
Reliability in today's technology is what you'll receive with every T&L pivot system. T&L offers 3 control systems that best meet your needs. First, the TLC computer control features speed and direction control at any degree of the circle, as well as chemigation, measurements, and more. Second, the new speed and direction control at the pivot point has all the convenience of the computer control without the complexity. Third, the standard speed and direction control, the simplest and most reliable in the industry. See your T&L dealer today to find out more about the leading management tools for your T&L irrigation systems.